The next step for Bonnie to do is she wants to take this version of OblaDi, OblaDa that she's done, and she wants to make it so she can play it for clarinet. Remember, if we tap in this measure, the first measure of the melody starts, and we come up here and choose play, stop. Right now, it's kind of playing with this flute sound, right? And it's not written out for the clarinet. So we've got to take this and we've got to add a clarinet part to this. It's actually easy. Well, the steps can be a little bit complicated. Remember, if you need to pause this tutorial as you go, you can do that. Where we're going to do this is up here in the parts menu. So I'm going to go ahead and open up parts. And what you'll see over here on the side is right now we've got a voice that's sort of being played by this sort of flute instrument followed by the piano. Well, we want to keep the piano, and we're going to, for right now, we're going to choose this add a part. Now, as soon as you tap add a part, you get lots and lots of instruments that you can add. Bonnie's, if I open up brass here, I've got French horn, trumpet, trombone, so on and so forth. But if I open up woodwind, there's clarinet, and that's what Bonnie plays. So I'm going to go ahead and tap clarinet, choose OK. And then what you can see down here, now I have a clarinet. And look, right down here, a clarinet part has appeared. Clarinet followed by piano, and if I scroll up a little bit, the voice part's on top. That's good, but what I really want is I want the clarinet part to be on top. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm just going to tap on these sort of dotted areas right here next to where it says clarinet. I was tapping on that. I had to tap it a couple times, and you see these arrows appear. I want the clarinet part to be up top, so I'm going to tap up on the voice, and voila, notice what happened. Now I've got piano, followed by voice, followed by clarinet. I'm going to close this parts menu for just a second so that you can take a look at that again. So we see how the score has been lined up again, and scroll down to here. Here's the piano part that we want to keep. The vocal part, which is really more for almost like a flute or another instrument like that, followed by our clarinet part up top. Now that we have that set, we're going to copy that and we want to move that up into the clarinet part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the voice part. I'm going to tap in any measure. I'm literally just going to tap right over here in this. And then here's the key. I want to copy the entire line. So you notice when I tap that, see these gray boxes that appear over here? I'm kind of circling them right now, or these rectangles, I should say. The one for voice right here, I'm going to tap that. And what you'll notice is it highlights the entire line. In fact, if I go through the score, you can see, well, it's actually working on building page too, but you'll see that it, I got a little bit there. You'll see that it went through and it highlighted all those. And you know what? I'm going to leave that in there because sometimes those glitches happen, boys and girls, and you just have to be kind of patient with them, right? Now that I have it all selected, up under here, underneath the edit menu, which, oh, by the way, I just forgot something that I wanted to tell you. If you tap on these three lines right here, notice that I did that. That shows the menus that are available. I recommend for this project, we're going to have the score menu selected, the edit menu selected, and the pitch menu selected. How do you select one? Well, let's say I wanted the duration menu chosen. I do this, and then I tap in the open area right next to it, and up at the top, that would add the duration menu up here. And I don't need that, so I'm going to tap the checkout. Again, I recommend score, edit, and pitch will give you all the tools you need. Anyway, going back to this, up under edit, right next to the little scissors here is the 2 pages. Now, Mr. Search, what if I forget what that is? Well, I can always open up edit here, and notice what that is. That's copy. Now, everybody knows how that works, right? So I'm going to, and unselect the menu, so I'm going to close that, and I'm going to just go ahead and choose copy. Now I've copied that line right there. So what do I want to do? I'm going to come back to the beginning. I'm going to tap on this measure right here, not on the rest, but anywhere on it. I'm going to make sure I have the whole line selected. And then I'm going to come up over here, and right next to it, I've got the scissors, the 2 pages next to each other, and the little clipboard, that's paste. So I'm going to tap paste, and it'll just say auto measure. Let's just go, okay, that's no problem. And right away, you're going to notice that some data has copied in here. Now, we're not quite done yet. It's not set as a clarinet part. My clarinet and trumpet players right now know they're looking at that going, well, that's not quite right. It's a transposing instrument, and we still have the same thing here. The key to it is this little thing under the score menu. It looks like a little pitch pipe. If I tap on that and shut that tool off, now all of a sudden it's a clarinet part. I've gotten, and clarinet players all of a sudden look at this and go, that's a lot better. No flats and no sharps. We're all set with that. That's good. And we've got that. Now, right away, some of my clarinet players and maybe trombone players, maybe you notice this or my other instruments, you might take a look at it, you might go, well, geez, Mr. Search, that's awfully high. I mean, those notes are way up there like that. If the notes are too high or they're too low, that's no problem because you have the score and you're editing it, so you have total control over it. Up here, Under the pitch menu, which is right up here, there's a tool. I'm going to open it up so you can see what it is. There's a tool right here. It's a little 8 and it says move down an octave. Or maybe it's too low and you need to move it up an octave. But I'm going to move it down an octave because that's pretty high up there. That tool is the 8 with the arrow down. So again, that was just to show you what the tool is. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to choose it here. And there we go. It just took a second, but voila, look at that. I have my clarinet part and I have them all down like that. The notes are low. My clarinet player's looking at that going, well, geez, that's not bad, Mr. Search. There's a B natural there and it's all set. In fact, I'm just going to tap in the open area of the score here to unhighlight that so that I can see that. One last step in this tutorial, once you've got the part set up for yourself, clarinet, you've got it here, you've got the piano, the last thing we want to do is get rid of that voice part because we don't need it anymore. So again, I'm going to tap any open measure in the voice part, I just tapped here, then I'm going to tap next to the whole line to select it. Whole line selected, come up to the edit menu where the trash can is here, tap that, and voila. Now all of a sudden I have the piano part and I have the clarinet part here ready to go. And it's all set. I've got OblaDi, OblaDa set up to play with clarinet. This is the second of 3 of these screen grab tutorials. In the next one, I'll show you how to set it up so you can play along.